The greatest mystery of our time? The dawning theory that humans may not have come from Earth. Welcome back to part 2 of our series on the theory that humans may not have come from Earth. If you haven't read part 1 yet, we recommend doing so before continuing on with this video. In part 1, we introduced the idea that some scientists believe our species may have originated elsewhere in the universe. This theory is based on a number of pieces of evidence, including scientific findings that suggest life could exist elsewhere in the cosmos. If humans did not originate on Earth, then what happened to our original home planet? And where did we come from? These are questions that continue to puzzle scientists and researchers alike. We'll explore some of the possible theories about human origins, as well as the scientific evidence that bolsters each of these theories. Before we begin, however, we invite you to like this video and subscribe to the channel to never miss any of our videos uploaded on the channel. Let's get right into it. Another piece of evidence for the theory that humans did not originate from Earth is the discovery of ancient ruins that appear to be much older than our planet. These ruins are believed to be of extraterrestrial origin, as they bear no resemblance to anything found on Earth. The most famous examples of these ancient extraterrestrial ruins are the Baalbek ruins in Lebanon. These massive stones are some of the oldest and largest man-made stones in the world, and there's no way human beings could have built them thousands of years ago. There are many other examples of ancient extraterrestrial ruins, including the Pumapunku ruins in Bolivia, the Nazca lines in Peru, and the Göbekli Tepe ruins in Turkey. While it's still possible that these ruins were made by humans, it's just as likely that they were created by beings from another planet. If this is true, it would mean that we've been visited by aliens before, and they left behind some pretty impressive evidence. This could also mean that humans are not the ones that started life on Earth. We may have arrived here later. Of course, this still doesn't tell us where we originated from, but it supports the possibility that we may not be from where we are right now. Earth. Another piece of evidence that suggests humans may not have originated from Earth is the discovery of human-like footprints in rocks that are allegedly hundreds of millions of years old. If these footprints were actually made by humans, it would mean that our species is much older than we previously thought. If you would like to learn more about these fossilized footprints, you can watch another video on our channel about this topic. Humans appeared on the Earth before dinosaurs? Another theory suggests that humans came from Mars. This theory states that these ancient Martians were wiped out by another alien race, and we are descendants of those who fled to Earth before this occurred. If this is the case, it also means that we could be related to life on other planets. Or, even spookier, how did some creatures manage to escape to Earth to avoid being wiped out? Even in today's modern world, only a few people have been able to go to space. So how could they move a whole population to a new planet billions of years ago? There are many questions that still need to be answered, but the search for our origins is an ongoing journey. Scientists and researchers around the globe continue to look for clues that could help us unravel this mystery. If humans came from Mars, could life have evolved on Mars before Earth? First, let's look at the scientific evidence and try to understand if life existed on Mars. In 1996, researchers led by David McKay, Everett Gibson, and Kathy Thomas Keptra from NASA's Johnson Space Center in Houston suggested that they might have found microbial fossils in a meteorite from Mars, known as Allen Hill's 84001, ALH 84001. Cosmic impacts on Mars can be powerful enough to blast rocks off the red planet, a fraction of which crash on Earth, the Moon, and other bodies in the solar system. The meteorite was first discovered in 1984 by geologists riding snowmobiles through the Allen Hills region of Antarctica. Scientists think ALH 84001 originally formed 4 billion years ago on Mars and landed on Earth about 13,000 years ago. Although this finding was back in 1996, over 25 years ago, it's a prolific example of how life on other planets is not completely out of the question. The discovery was made when the fossils were looked at with electron microscopy. Here, there were interesting patterns that looked worm-like. The scientists believe that the meteorite was sitting in water. They called these biomorphic features. Also, there wasn't just a biological component found in the meteorite. There was also mineral magnetite. The way that everything was laid out was unusual. A scientific paper in 1996 boldly made the assertion that there must have been biological activity on Mars in the past. It's exciting to see that there could have been life in a rock that was on Mars 4 billion years ago. The rocks were found in Jezero Crater, a 28-mile-wide pockmark blasted out by a meteorite impact billions of years ago that once hosted an ancient lake. Since the Curiosity rover landed on Mars in 2012, scientists have been busy analyzing the data it has sent back. Recently, in February 2021, they made a surprising discovery: rocks coated in a purple material. The discovery has led some people to believe that there may have been life on Mars in the past. I don't really have a good answer for you, geochemist Anne Olilla, who presented an early analysis of the mysterious purple coating at the recent American Geophysical Union (AGU) conference, told National Geographic. The purple appears as both a thin, smooth coating on some rocks and paint-like splodges on others. Deciphering its chemical makeup may offer insights into Mars's ancient environment. NASA's Perseverance rover captured this image of the rock, Natani, in May 2021, which includes a purple smear near the right edge of the frame. 5 teeny holes punched through the coating where a series of laser shots were used to study the rock's composition. Olilla's team has been using Perseverance's SuperCam, which can shoot a laser at rocks to vaporize them and study the rock's properties, to study the coating. Their early results seem to show the purple layer is softer and chemically distinct from the rock layer below, and maybe enriched in hydrogen and magnesium. Hydrogen and iron oxide suggest water played a role in forming the purple patches. Perseverance has been exploring the Jezero Crater, a meteorite impact crater that once hosted an ancient lake. And there is plenty of evidence Mars once hosted water and was even a wet planet. However, the location of the purple patches presents a bit of a mystery. Perseverance's current route doesn't cut through lake sediments, but rather rocks that formed from cooling magma. How the rocks arrived at their current location, on the crater floor, and when and how water came into contact remains uncertain. Scientists have been looking into whether rock coatings found on Mars may help preserve evidence of ancient microbial life by preventing the sun's intense radiation from degrading organic material. So chalk this new mystery up to potentially helping us discover the answer to the age-old question of whether there was ever, or could be, life on Mars. Conspiracy theorists across the globe have long been claiming that Mars was once like the Earth, and the red planet had an ancient civilization that died out over time. Dr. John Brandenburg, an American scientist who worked for NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, he streamlined spacecraft analysis and design, including safety analysis for advanced propulsion systems. John Brandenburg has long been associated with these claims. He claimed to find two major smoking gun pieces of evidence indicating a past nuclear war on the planet. Brandenburg described these discoveries as Curiosity rover findings of two anomalous elements on the surface of Mars, uranium and thorium. Uranium and thorium, naturally found in the Earth, are called and are the source of terrestrial radiation. Trace amounts of uranium, thorium, and their decay products can be found everywhere. Terrestrial radiation levels vary by location, but areas with higher concentrations of uranium and thorium in surface soils generally have higher dose levels. A small fraction of background radiation comes from human activities. Trace amounts of radioactive elements have dispersed in the environment from nuclear weapons tests, and accidents like the one at Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine. According to Brandenburg, the concentrations of these elements on Mars would be around 30 times greater than those found in meteorites. He said they could have been released into the atmosphere, settling onto the surface. Also, they could have been concentrated in a large area, formed by the cratering of Mars by the meteors. Brandenburg's analysis suggests these two events are buried 20 to 30 meters below the Martian surface. It has led him to conclude there was a nuclear explosion on Mars in prehistoric wars. Since Brandenburg published his theory, he's received a lot of criticism for his claim. Counter-arguments explain that the weapon used to destroy Mars was not an A-bomb or H-bomb. Such weapons are too small and cannot make such massive explosions. Brandenburg suggests that the weapon used would be a thermonuclear device, because only such weapons can make such massive explosions. According to Sissoko, it can be assumed that nuclear waste disposal on Mars was probably done to dispose of material with long half-life radioactivity, i.e., uranium or plutonium, like other known examples of nuclear waste disposal. According to Brandenburg, there were two different civilizations on Mars, and each one had about 50 million people. The second wiped out the first. The bodies of the Martians got blasted into teeny bits. Brandenburg claims that if you do not know the Martian language, you could only see humanoids in the artwork. He said, but when you look at them with the knowledge of what is there, you will start seeing all kinds of reptilian creatures and birds. Brandenburg also claims that Mars was facing a major climate change, making the planet uninhabitable. Climate change thus contributed to the destruction of both civilizations on Mars. If you regularly watch my videos, you should be familiar with these Brandenburg's claims. Surprisingly, Brandenburg wasn't the first person who talked about the nuclear war on Mars. Before him, Boriska Kripyanovich, a Russian boy, also had the same story about these wars. He claims he is from Mars and reborn on Earth. He has a lot to say about what our future holds and what happened to Mars. You can watch Martian Boy videos on my channel to learn more. A new book by American ecologist Dr. Ellis Silver argues that humans may well not be from Earth, and may have arrived separately. Silver offers arguments based on human physiology that suggest we may not have evolved alongside other life on Earth, but arrived from elsewhere. brought here by aliens as recently as a few tens of thousands of years ago. He claimed the difficulty of childbirth was more proof to his claims. It is strange that babies' heads are so large and make it difficult for women to give birth, which can result in fatalities of the mother and infant. No other native species on this planet has this problem, he says. Dr. Silver furthered his claims by pointing out how humans regularly suffer from bad backs, which he theorized was because life evolved on a planet with lower gravity. In humans, there are many more various ailments, including chronic ones, than any animal. Many also suffer from sleep disorders. According to the scientist, this can be explained by the fact that our biological clock is set to a 25-hour rhythm, as previously proven by other researchers. But on Earth, as you know, there are only 24 hours in a day. Only one conclusion can be drawn. The Earth is not our homeland. Silver also points out to the extra 223 genes in human beings, which are not found in any other species, and to the lack of a fossil missing link. The study, published in Nature, showed that humans have an additional 223 genes acquired from bacteria during our evolution. What if they're not from bacteria? Could these genes be the reason for human progress compared to all other living things? What about non-coding DNA called junk DNA? Maybe these are remnants from an alien planet and alien ancestors. Of course, this is a wild idea. If you enjoyed this video, please like and let me know which theory seems most logical to you down in the comments section below. Until next time, please subscribe to my channel to not miss the part 3 of this series.